In 2008, the world's financial system nearly flatlined. Banks that had survived 2 world wars collapsed in weeks. Ordinary people lost homes, jobs, savings, all because of a financial product so complicated most of the bankers selling it didn't fully understand it either. This is the story of how the smartest people in finance built a house of cards and then acted shocked when it fell. After the dot-com crash in 2000, the US Federal Reserve slashed interest rates to encourage borrowing. Cheap loans meant more people buying homes, which pushed prices up. Banks noticed something. Real estate always goes up, right? So they got creative. Enter subprime mortgages, home loans given to people with poor credit, unstable income, sometimes no proof of income at all. These got a nickname inside the industry: ninja loans. No income, no job, no assets. If you had a heartbeat, you qualified. Here's where it gets genuinely clever, in a this should be illegal kind of way. Banks took thousands of these mortgages, good ones and terrible ones mixed together, and bundled them into a financial product called a mortgage-backed security, or MBS. Then they sliced these bundles into tranches. Senior tranches, supposedly safest, and junior tranches, riskiest. To make it even more exotic, banks created collateralized debt obligations, or CDOs, essentially bundles of bundles. Imagine buying a fruit basket, not knowing 3/4 of it is rotten because it's been repackaged so many times nobody can tell anymore. Credit rating agencies, Moody's, S&P, Fitch, are supposed to independently assess risk. Instead, they were paid by the very banks issuing these securities to rate them. Shockingly, most got AAA ratings, the same grade given to US government bonds. It's the financial equivalent of paying the referee before the match and being surprised your team wins every time. Enter another instrument. Credit default swaps, essentially insurance on these mortgage bundles. Except, unlike real insurance, you didn't need to own the asset to buy the insurance. Investors could bet on mortgages failing without owning a single one. AIG, a massive insurance company, sold enormous amounts of these swaps, assuming housing would never crash nationally. Spoiler, it did. AIG alone needed a $182 billion government bailout, essentially the most expensive "we didn't think this through" in financial history. By 2007, subprime borrowers started defaulting en masse. Housing prices, which could never fall, fell. The MBS bundles turned toxic. Bear Stearns collapsed in March 2008. Then, on September 15th, 2008, Lehman Brothers, a 158-year-old investment bank, filed for the largest bankruptcy in US history. Credit markets froze overnight. Banks stopped lending to each other because nobody knew who was holding the toxic assets. The entire global financial system, built on trust, suddenly had zero trust left. The US government passed TARP, the Troubled Asset Relief Program, injecting roughly $700 billion to stabilize banks. Central banks worldwide slashed interest rates towards zero and introduced quantitative easing, essentially printing money to keep economies breathing. Over 8 million Americans lost jobs. Nearly 10 million lost homes to foreclosure. And in a twist nobody saw coming, in 2009, an anonymous figure named Satoshi Nakamoto released Bitcoin's white paper, designed explicitly as an alternative to a banking system that had just proven it couldn't be trusted. The final tally: the crisis erased an estimated $2 trillion in US economic output directly and cost the global economy somewhere between $10 to $15 trillion when accounting for lost growth, jobs and wealth. And the people who built this, The executives, the ratings agencies, the banks. Almost none faced criminal charges. They got bonuses. The rest of the world got the bill.